Guru! Have you been listening to heavy metal again? You know that music's the devil!
I learned it from watching you, Dad!
Did you just call me Dad?
This is my brain now, Dad! This is my brain!
Well, now that's just a waste of breakfast.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm not a chicken! You're a turkey! You're a turkey! Dad!
So remember, kids, don't do metal, or you might end up a hopeless man baby. Man baby.
Black roses. I can't seem to read that. Wait, I know. Computer, make like a bad TV cop show and enhance. Ah, yes, there we go. Much better. Turn up the volume, turn down the lights, but don't watch it alone. Ah, shit, looks like it wants a little Black Roses and Chill action. I can ticket. Anyway, Black Roses is a 1988 Metasploitation film directed by John Fasano and written by his wife, Cindy Sorrell. And if those two names sound oddly familiar, that's because they also worked on Rock and Roll Nightmare, which is a film I've also considered reviewing, so if you'd like me to do so, please comment below and let me know. That's right, motherfuckers, I'm gonna make you work for it, so comment below like the little subs you are. That's the way Daddy Guru likes it. However, it should be noted that Rock and Roll Nightmare was an entirely different beast from Black Roses. Whereas Nightmare featured a heavy metal band as protagonists, Black Roses features one as antagonists. They're the bad guys in this one.
Duh.
Ozzy?
Yeah?
I know that your lyrics are less excessive than groups like Slayer or Venom or Iron Maiden or some of the others, but still, for some reason, maybe it's because you've been around for so long, I see tattoos of your name on some of these teenage devil worshippers' arms.
You see, Cindy and John saw the ever-growing anxiety around metal with the PMRC hearings and the repeated accusations of satanic worship, and decided to make this film to capitalize on that hysteria. And the result of that capitalization is a horror comedy with a tinge of after-school special, yet with its tongue planted firmly in its cheek. And up Satan's asshole, of course. So without further ado, let's hang those flyers and drive them groupies mad. For this week's glam metal seance is none other than Black Roses. Our movie begins with the opening credits of Moonlighting, apparently. Otherwise known as back when Bruce Willis gave a shit.
You want to see the expression on my face? The expression you're going to see on my face is fuck you.
We then cut to the city streets where it feels like Jason's about to take Manhattan any day now. Anyway, we then move into a concert venue where... Holy hell, what the fuck happened to Keith Richards? I guess all the drugs known to mankind are a hell of a drug. Damn, Gwar really downgraded their costumes this year. They might as well go by Lordy now. Zing! All I'm saying is these are a lot of clean-cut kids for a heavy metal show. At least mosh, my dudes. I want to see them Cosby sweaters swirling. Enough about the posers, though, because the real question is, how good's the music? The answer is pretty good. I mean, it's hair metal, but I've certainly heard worse hair metal than this. I mean, talk about you, Striper.
Oh man, not again. Fuck you, Guru.
Now, with that all being said, I should note that the real reason this song is so solid is because it wasn't actually written for this movie. It was in fact a real release by Lizzie Borden off their 1987 album, Visual Eyes, which I absolutely recommend if you're into that sort of thing. No more time for that though, because the man's arrived to shut this shit down. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Wait, so when you go to a Black Roses concert, you come out a blood-crazed hellspawn? That's fucking metal!
Following the dawn of the brain-dead fans, we then cut to small-town America, otherwise known as Ontario, Canada.
Alright, no joke, those titles are just fucking cool.
I just love everything about them. The animation, the way one car goes over and the other goes under. It's just so satisfying to look at. Not sure what's up with the warp speed ending, though.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Meanwhile, on the set of Here I Go Again on My Own, in which he's not actually alone, but that's a complaint for another day, we're introduced to our antagonist Damien and his god-awful hair extensions.
Bruh, look at this dude. Look at his hair.
For real, man, if you're gonna be in a hair metal band, the least you could do is grow that shit out for real. After all, every member of every death metal band obviously killed themselves before they joined the band. Otherwise, what's the point?
Is this something you would consider doing?
Yeah! But it's gotta be really brutal.
Following that, we get a montage introducing various teenagers around town, juxtaposed with the band posting flyers for their upcoming show.
But I don't take good care of your mom. You know, I haven't heard any complaints on her lately.
What delightfully appropriate music for implied sexual abuse.
All the whimsy of being inappropriately touched at Disneyland.
Bad Touch Stepdad here is actually played by Paul Kelman, who some might recall as TJ from My Bloody Valentine. I guess things just didn't work out with Sarah after that mind collapsed, huh? Anyway, we're later introduced to Professor Tom Selleck, our protagonist Matthew Morehouse, who is not in fact played by Tom Selleck, though he fucking looks like him.
Now, Whitman says that evil propels me. Is he advocating evil? Is that what he's doing?
Oh, yeah, he's doing it all right. I understand exactly what he's doing.
You gotta love the 1980s, back when being in your mid-30s meant you could still pass for 17. Excuse me, mid-40s, apparently. But that's what I love about these high school dudes, man. I get older, and they just stay middle-aged. Anyway, not quite Bill or Ted here is actually named Johnny, and he's got a problem with authority, man.
Like, here we got this whole town filled with people who claim to be good, right? And so now here comes the biggest thing to hit Mill Basin ever, and they try to stop it. You call that good?
Whoa, slow down there, Kevin Bacon. This kid's like one inspirational montage away from doing gymnastics in a warehouse, I swear.
They didn't have to pick Mill Basin for their first concert. They could have started their tour anywhere in the country.
Wait, if this is their first concert, then what the hell was that at the beginning of the movie? A sacrilegious bar mitzvah? Anyway, after class we find out that tough guy Johnny here actually has the hots for Julie, the girl with the creepy stepdad. Unfortunately for him though, she's hot for teacher.
So I like Julie, so what's the big deal?
No big deal. But I'd say she's taken.
In the midnight hour, he cried mo, mo, mo. Later that night, we discover that Johnny's dad is pretty much the asshole you expect him to be.
Are you sure you should go? Everybody seems to feel it's a bad idea.
Janie's dad bought her a ticket.
Yeah, well, Janie's dad also bought her a gun, and we all know how that turned out. Joking aside, I do love the detail of Johnny crafting his own Black Roses t-shirt. That's a legit authentic touch. Ain't no indie merch store around these parts, this is the 80s, boyo. Anyway, during a late night town hall meeting, we find out that Janie's mom, Janie being the bimbo from class, is at the forefront of the anti-Black Roses campaign. Which is totally not cool, man. But what is cool is that she's played by Julia Adams, the elegant star of The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Their satanic music and subversive lyrics threaten to undermine the very fabric of our society.
Oh, really? And which society is that, if I may ask? The United States or Canada? God, I haven't seen this much pearl clutching since Steven Universe. Anyway, let's see what Mayor I was also the principal in Fame has to say.
Now this group, this Black Roses, I'll be the first to admit, some of their stuff's a little antisocial. But that's the very nature of rock and roll, isn't it? Try to shake us up a little bit?
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mayor Sensible.
I don't know. I may have to vote comb-over party this year. Truly the lesser of two evils. Later that night, Johnny tries to court Julie, but I'm not so sure about his approach here.
Or is it Mr. Morehouse?
What do you mean?
Come on, everybody in school knows that you and he are...
Alright, dude, I know you're new here, but just so you know, accusing a girl of trying to fuck her teacher is not the best seduction strategy.
Judas Priest, this guy really puts the wine and dine, doesn't he? And what the hell's up with him in these polls? Seriously, at this point I half expect him to start slow dancing to Alice in Chains.
Yeah, he's come to snuff the rooster. Yay! Oh, come on, Guru, be nice. Guy's clearly going through a midlife crisis.
Every time there's something I really want, somebody takes it away. But tonight, I want to paint this town red.
Oh, hell yeah, let's get this party started. Wait, hold the fucking phone. You meant to literally paint the town red? I guess it's a good thing he didn't say he was gonna go blow off some steam, otherwise water vapor might have emitted from his ears. Enough about that though, because Morehouse's miscreant senses are tingling.
It was at that moment Mr. Morehouse realized he wasn't actually in John Carpenter's The Fog.
Oh, so that's how they make Canada dry. Huh, you learn something new every day. Anyway, the next day Mr. Morehouse makes it very clear that he knows Johnny was the kid with the paint can, but I'm not exactly sure what he's mad at. Like, by all accounts, it looks like Johnny just painted an exclamation point, and that's it.
Deface or pollute the environment, and you'll find yourself up against stiff penalties.
And by stiff penalties, he means, you fuck a corpse!
Johnny, can I talk to you, please?
What about?
About last night.
About last night.
About a 1986 Rob Lowe film? Weird kink, but I can roll with it. By the way, blowjob face here is Tony, and Tony is played by Tony Booyah, the man responsible for quite a few of this movie's monsters. Though not all of this movie's monsters, as the rest of the movie features the work of Mike Matty and Richard Alonzo, Frank Dietz and Arnold Gargiulo, Daniel Platt and Bill Basso.
And later on, we'll also see some cool puppetry by John Dodds, who happened to work on The Deadly Spawn.
Enough behind the scenes crap though, because we got ourselves a concert to get to in 1988. Because Satan knows we're not seeing any in 2020. Holy shit, it's Michael Bolton! The parents are right, he is the embodiment of evil. I just hope he plays Captain Jack Sparrow and not anything else he ever wrote.
This song was actually composed by Black Roses, and by Black Roses, I mean assorted members of King Cobra, Quiet Riot, and the film's composer, Elliot Solomon, so it was somewhat of like a glam metal supergroup of sorts.
I gotta admit though, the movie definitely nails the homoeroticism of metal. Just look at the bedroom eyes that Damien gives Morehouse. Yeah, there's definitely metal going up that ass tonight, I'll tell you that.
What want to say to everybody out there?
Metal up your ass!
Okay, thank you. This is Donna Davis, and this is Metallica.
Alright, now that the old fucks are gone, time to rock the fuck out! Ain't no party like a leather nipple party, cause a leather nipple party goes snap! Ow! Anyway, the next day Morehouse realizes his students are bored as fuck in his class, so he decides to meet with the band to see what the fuss is about.
Figured on starting us out in a small town since we'd never played out of the studio before. Well, once before actually, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, we even tried out a new song. It was called Hip to Be Square, and the results were murder.
If people would just listen to our music, they'd see we have a humanistic message for the kids. You know, social and environmental concerns.
Environmental concerns, huh? Might want to lay off the hairspray then, my dude.
I guess so.
You gotta work out the first set.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, hey, it's Carmine Appice of King Cobra. Nice of him to join us between his many other albums and guest spots. Fucking sweet! Anyway, after shooting the shit with Damien, Morehouse bumps into Julie, who is acting way too goddamn forward.
Julie, aren't you supposed to be in class?
I could ask you the same thing.
Yes, good. Alright, time to see what's new in Italian Stereotypes Monthly.
What's this? An ear. This. An earring, Pop. An earring. Only two kinds of men wear earrings. Pirates and f***s. I don't see no ship on our driveway.
Man, who knew Big Pussy from The Sopranos was such a raging homophobe? Everyone. Literally everyone knew that. Enough about discrimination, though, as it's time to enter the Videodrome. Or Vinyldrome, as it were. Personally, I just hope he doesn't fuck that stereo, because, ugh.
What the fuck?
Never mind, apparently the stereo's gonna fuck him. Oh my god, it's so adorable, though. Look at this cutie pie. I want one.
No, Guru, remember what happened the last time you brought a rape monster home?
Yeah.
Mama. Guru, what happened?
I swallow your load, I swallow your load.
Every time I come through this door, man, I'm telling you.
You know, as awesome as this effect is, I can't help but notice its tail is clearly just a vacuum tube. Anyway, the stereo monster eats that pussy like the psychedelic Angie Baby cartoon from the 1970s. And of course, following that, we get yet another rock show.
Wow, those kids really liked The Omen Part 2.
Come on down to Yankee Candle to get the new Cinnamon Apple Goat's Bloody Holiday Scent. Hail Satan! Jeez, it's like they're instantly turning into drug addicts or something. Heroin. Maybe even once?
Now remember, kids, always bring water to the metal show. Hydration is key. Oh god, it's Everclear!
Interesting factoid, according to the commentary, the shots of these zombies were originally from the opening scene. They were eventually moved here though because they simply wanted more creepy things to happen by the movie's midpoint. Which honestly was a good call if you ask me, because otherwise the most evil thing the band inspires is petty vandalism. Concerned that the Black Roses may in fact be evil, Morehouse decides to visit the mayor's home, where we're introduced to Patricia. Now, Patricia, it turns out, is not only the mayor's daughter, she also happens to be Morehouse's girlfriend. And she is not happy with him, no, not in the slightest. And also, fun fact, she happens to be played by Lou Ferrigno's wife, Carla Ferrigno, no less.
Do you know why I went out with you?
Because I like the way your stash tickles me when you eat me out.
Because when I met you, I said, there's a guy who's gonna do something with his life.
Since when is being a teacher not doing something with your life? Like, we can't all be professional mayor's daughters, Patricia.
Oh, speak for yourself, Guru. My mom said I could be whatever I want. And I wanted to be a ballerina. Now look at me.
So it turns out Patricia is more angry at Morehouse's statutory closeness to Julie more than anything, which, totally fair. That shit's making me pretty uncomfortable too. Meanwhile, in Johnny's bedroom... Oh hey, it's a Slumber Party Massacre poster! I reviewed that once. It also had poorly lit naked ladies. Ooh, talk about a Johnny-come-lately. Also, after some research, I found out that apparently we were supposed to think this naked girl was Julie, only to be surprised it turns out to be the band's token girl. Except it's so obvious it's not Julie, the bait and switch doesn't read at all.
Way to keep us in the dark, movie!
The band's influence spreads around town and even starts infecting the little kids too. Wait, are those 1980s Mysterio and Batman figures? Fuck, dude, don't burn them. They could be worth a fortune now.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And speaking of shitty men, it looks like Janie's dad's about to partake in the long-standing rock and roll tradition of underage jailbait. Ugh.
Oh.
She's a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker, don't you mess around with me, no, no, no. Fun fact about this scene though, originally Tina was supposed to fuck him to death here, but on the day of shooting, actress Robin Stewart was not comfortable going that far. So as a result of that, she straddles him to death instead. Which is kinda lame in comparison, but what can you do? Oh shit, look! Johnny's got his gun!
I love you, Dad.
Johnny be bad!
And to think he was, almost done reading that paper. We then get a couple more parental murders to cap off the night before Mr. Morehouse finds out the hard way that the youth have gone wild.
Alright.
The final conflict! The final conflict! The final conflict!
The Awakening! The Awakening! The Awakening! The remake! The remake! The remake! Hell no! Oh, man! No one ever likes the remake. Underrated classic, yo. Yeah, you get back where you came from. The boiler room. You could make out with Freddy.
And it's right about here Mr. Morehouse realized he was caught in a Twisted Sister video. Following that though, Mr. Morehouse tries to warn the mayor of what's been going on around town, but of course, that goes nowhere.
That's a date, bye.
Neil!
Before my mustache, foolish mortals, before you bear the mark of twain. Oh, thank God we got that question answered. Anyway, Mr. Morehouse leaves the school library for the public library so as to brush up on the occult. Meanwhile, back at the school, Janie visits the, extremely confused school counselor.
You're far better off getting everything out in the open now, as painful as that may be.
I guess you're right. What do you suggest?
What do I suggest? Well, you could, there's,
line? Actually, the intended joke for this scene was that no one has actually ever used the counselor before, so when one finally does show up to ask for advice, the counselor has no idea what to do, so he looks to his how-to books and, hilarity ensues.
Unfortunately though, because of the way this scene is filmed, it just looks like he's looking for his script, which is not ideal, I gotta say. Anyway, long story short, Julie tricks the counselor with the oldest trick not in his book.
You know, I often thought of using screaming in my therapy, in my work.
I'm free, free falling. While a clearly possessed Julie toys with Morehouse at the library, the Black Roses put on yet another concert. You'd think they'd have hit the road by now, but I guess they're on one of those one-town tours or some shit.
You are the Black Roses, the flowers of evil.
This is actually the perfect time to talk about why this movie is called Black Roses. You see, black roses have been symbolically used to represent a lot of things, from danger to death to even love gone wrong. However, it is also commonly used as a symbol for anarchy, which is probably why it was chosen here. Now, that's not to say this movie is a realistic portrayal of any real anarchist philosophy, no, far from it. Just that the filmmakers were most likely alluding to the colloquial sense of anarchy, the kind of anarchy you see in films like Escape from New York or Mad Max, that kind of anarchy. Which makes a lot of sense given what happens in this film. At least, that's just what I suspect anyway.
It's Blood City. Blood. An ocean of blood.
Anyway, we later discover that Julie, or more accurately Julie's body double, fully understands the subtext of the song She Bops. If you look closely at her hands though, you might notice some age wrinkles. In actuality, these age wrinkles were demonic hand makeup that didn't quite read as intended. Man, I feel so bad for this movie. They had like all these ideas, but so many of them were not executed well enough to actually read on the screen. And it's a real shame too, because otherwise, it's a pretty fun movie, but there's all these little things just holding it back, and it's kind of its own fault. Julie eventually confronts her stepdad with her newfound assets, as well as an oversized styrofoam ashtray. You know, cause we all have one of those. Though the more I think about it, I feel like that might be a fire hazard. She always did say smoking would be the death of him. Mr. Morehouse awakens in a clever cut that leaves us wondering whether the previous scene actually happened, or if it was just a nightmare of his own creation. In order to figure out the answer to that mystery for himself, though, he decides to visit Julie.
Mrs. Sullivan, what's wrong?
It's my husband. I came home from work and there's dead blood all over the place.
Excuse me, what?
Dead blood all over the place. Dead blood all over the place. Dead blood all over the place.
Yeah, that's probably right. Meanwhile, Julie visits Patricia, and it goes about as well as you'd expect.
Oh, teacher's pet.
Clearly a metaphor for our cutthroat education system. Quite. The mayor calls Mr. Morehouse to inform him of Patricia's death, but before he even has time to process this, Julie arrives with a very special present.
What kind of present, Julie?
Myself.
Aw, that's adorable! She brought him a felony! He's gonna be really upset when he finds out this is an episode of To Catch a Predator. Which was hands down the weirdest Predator sequel so far, if you ask me. Anyway, Mr. Morehouse eventually thwarts Julie's seduction, but little does he know, she's become a black magic woman. Hail Santana! Fun fact, that pink glow there is only there to hide what the director admitted was a terrible effect. So, don't get mad at me when I say that that effect is below par. Man, Jim Henson really phoned this one in, didn't he? Mr. Morehouse and the Julie Demon caused quite the racket, and something tells me this wasn't the ball she was planning on choking on that day. Mr. Morehouse cooks up a steak dinner for Julie and then stocks up on gasoline and road flares. Just in time for the headliners to take the stage yet again. I gotta be honest though, it doesn't really seem like the crowd's too into it this time around. Except for this guy right here. Well done there, Extra. Way to earn that free lunch.
Stay with me. Worship your master. Gargle my balls while I hang upside down from a tire swing. Tickle my taint while I ride a velvet horse into the sunset. Bathe in my piss as I lather this goose in peanut oil. Yes, roses, worship me. Worship me.
Oh hey, Julie's still alive. Indicating that the demon from earlier was not actually her to begin with. Which is good news for Mr. Morehouse, at least until he ends up on that sex offender registry. Enough about the truly creepy aspects of this movie though, as it's time for a showdown.
What'd you do with my kids, you son of a bitch?
Your kids. You had your chance. Now they're mine.
I swear, Damien's about to break into Dance Magic Dance any second now. In a twist that truly shocks no one though, it turns out Damien's hair was not actually real to begin with. Nor was his face for that matter. Talk about them smile wrinkles though. What the shit? Damien's been a baby Rancor this entire time? Quick, feed it some Gamorreans and get the fuck out of there. In all seriousness though, this is the most exciting fight scene I've seen since Kirk fought Gorn. Though I do have to wonder, why does his makeup here look nothing like the makeup from earlier? Actually, it turns out there is a reason for that. You see, many of the monster scenes in this movie were not actually in the original script. Nearly all of them, from the opening sequence to the stereo dick monster to even Julie's seduction, were all added long after principal photography. This is because when their distributors saw their initial cut, they thought it was way too boring for their target audience. So they specifically requested that they A, cut the movie down, and B, include way more actual monsters. Which honestly was a really good call because all the scenes everyone remembers from this movie come from that additional footage. So I say, thumbs up to its inclusion, even if its inclusion made the movie a bit more incoherent. Wow, Hell Comes to Frogtown looks a lot cheaper than I remembered. Which is saying a lot because that movie was already pretty cheap. Bow before my 5'0" demonic might, foolish mortals. Anyway, Mr. Morehouse kicks the demon in his non-existent balls and then sets the whole damn place ablaze. And just in case you were still doubting Black Rose's heavy metal cred, check this shit out. That's right, they don't even start their set until the whole damn place is ablaze. Metal as fuck! But wait, what's this? Black Roses are still alive? And they're gonna play Madison Square Garden? Sequel bait! Except not really. I assure you, my fellow gorehounds, this movie did not get a sequel. So that was Black Roses, a fun, if incoherent movie that is pretty good if you ignore the main character's really uncomfortable relationship with underage girls. Which I totally understand if you can't. Basically, Black Roses is a lot like Brain Damage in that it plays out like a glorified after-school special, except you can tell the filmmakers don't actually agree with the message. In truth, they really like heavy metal music and tried to be authentic to it despite their limited budget. Unfortunately, where the movie falls short, though, is in its incoherence. Due to a combination of ambitious ideas just not working out, as well as the producers injecting admittedly fun scenes that were not originally intended, the movie is all over the place. And while there was certainly potential here to reach the dreamlike atmosphere of something like, say, Phantasm, it never quite reaches those heights. Still though, when it comes to 1980s metasploitation, this is definitely towards the top of the heap. Not as fun as Trick or Treat, but certainly better than Hard Rock Zombies. And thank Rob Halford for that.
Hi guys, Black Rose's frontman Damien here. If you could do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, it would really help me out. Thank you very much in advance, and hail Satan.
Pull up a chair, deep in the crypt, from a blood red chalice you must take a sip. Sit right back for a flick, see gore and entrails and slimy itch. Welcome
come on, Guru. Be nice. He's clearly going through a midnight crisis. Chrysler. Midnight Chrysler. Come on down to Mass Slasher's Midnight Chrysler Blowout, where you could get one with no money down.
All right, one more just like that, except say midlife crisis. But that is definitely going at the end of the video. And action.
Oh, come on, Guru, be nice. Guy's clearly going through a midnight...
You almost had it.
Almost had it. Oh, come on, Guru, be nice. He's clearly going through a midnight crisis. God damn it.
I hate it when that happens. Midnight crisis. I want to know what a midnight crisis is now.
Yeah, I know.
I know what a midlife crisis is, but a midnight crisis, is that when it's like midnight and you're just staring at your own reflection going like, what am I doing with my life?
Maybe that'll be the next Alan Wake game. Alan Wake, Midnight Crisis.